Well, that was a bit of a grind, but not too bad. Anyway, let's have a look at what's on... What? No, what? Oh, hell no! Watch Dogs 2 4th-gen edition, you play as Ubisoft protagonist Marcus, a DedSec hacker based in the bastion of millennial social justice, San Francisco. From there, this game does a poor job of investing in the character you're presented with. For the first 5 hours, I didn't care about anyone, and while all the critics loved to hate Aiden, I felt I cared more about his plight than anything occurred in those few hours. And speaking of not caring, not once throughout Watch Dogs 2 did I feel that there were a lasting consequence of using lethal weapons versus non-lethal ones. In fact, you either had to be a profoundly moral person or dumb as fuck, because you quickly find that the only weapons worth a damn were the armor-piercing anti-matter rifle and the grenade launcher. This, combined with the fact that the guns feel fucking awful, more like shooting contrick natural people, made gunfights pointless and shallow. I am thankful, however, that they managed to finally add some fucking colour to these otherwise dull outfits. Instead of some shitty retextured overcoats, we are given some relatively decent selection of clothes. Unfortunately, anything more structurally unique required considerable effort to acquire and were few in number. Missions, on the other hand, are generously varied, if not utilising those fucking boring quote-unquote hacking mini-game puzzles. Tragically, however, as you progress through the story, you'll find that most missions can be done quite easily by either just sending the bad guys to jail or calling a gang hit on them one by one. Eventually, your quad chopper will become equipped with explosives, making the whole thing stupidly easy, though a bit tedious and slow as fuck. Despite the good and bad of the mission design is nothing, and I mean nothing when compared to the absolute shit, epic fail letdown of the century. In the final hours, you'll be met with the ultimate challenge, the unique and ingenious, they say, dudes in fucking armor. Yes, instead of CTOS turning on you like in the last game, you'll instead be facing off everyone in the kitchen sink that take at least 2 fucking grenades in order to kill them. The developers were so fucking lazy that they just said, fuck it, more dudes in armor. Hell, just do what I slowly did and draw them into the hall and stealth kill them one by one, making stealth actually useful for a change. Now, multiplayer to some extent does save this lowbrow effort of a game, but not by much. Invasions are fortunately far more balanced than they were in Watch Dogs. For example, the quad chopper made finding invaders far easier, and if you're skilled enough and hit well enough, you could easily win as an invader. No longer were invasions unfairly in favour of the invader. What however did piss me off was the lack of a free mode option. I had a shit ton of fun using the CTOS hacks in free mode and having epic battles as a result of that, only now I can't do any of that. Instead, the developers opted for this seamless multiplayer, taking away any real possibility of having those epic battles again, just as well because the gunplay again is shit. I was however able to have an hilarious escape scene when a player caught me in the middle of an invasion. Eventually though, the multiplayer will become more of a hassle as you'll be spammed with invasion or bounty opportunities throughout the game. Which brings me to my last point, that is the story. In Watch Dogs, we were presented with a dark grand conspiracy involving a criminal underworld and Bloom CTOS, corporate corruption, you name it. I remember the satisfying feeling when we finally gave Lucky Quinn some well-deserved poetic justice. Watch Dogs 2 on the other hand has none of that. Instead, we were introduced to Dukin, a boring hipster corporate fuckwit who's solely interested in enriching his own personal fuck buddy. By the time we got to the New Dawn mission, a mission clearly meant to be a nod to Channelology, I was wondering when we would unlock the Guy's Fawkes mask. Then the developers really drove the 4chan activist theme when Prime 8 leader says, "You know why I fucking hate you DedSec fucking pricks? Because you take things way too fucking seriously." I agree, they do take things way too seriously. And this is sad when fucktard critics compel the developers to dumping all the darker conspiracy themes in favour of millennial garbage and petty inconveniences. Sure, those corporate practices behind Blue's machinations are fucking terrible, but not exactly the level of fucked up shit that I took on in Chicago. Despite their good intentions, DedSec seem to be comprised of a bunch of psychopaths bent on blowing shit up. Fuck, that last mission that had me playing each of the DedSec members, and guess what? One of them had used a grenade launcher exclusively, so if you're thinking that the developer intended to make a moral choice, you're wrong. All of which is fine if this is all parody fun. Except it's not. Critics have asked why aren't players playing Watch Dogs 2, citing the time released against Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1. And while this might be true, it's more than likely that Watch Dogs 2's quality has been exaggerated beyond its real value, largely because, like the Oscars, for some very cheap reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if they took one look at the quote-unquote success of Gone Home in this game and then said, 9 out of 10, absolutely. Critics love that kind of shit, except the majority of players don't really care about that kind of politics, nor does it really automatically make a good game. Overall, this entire experience was more often than not a test of my patience rather than skill. Perhaps some of the game's few saving graces were the unique vehicle unlocks and clothing. Finding half of these is the reason I got hooked onto GTA Online, for example. Except unfortunately the grind made me wish I hadn't picked this game up in the first place. And unbelievably, the fastest car in the game, I was just able to raise the 1.3 million, but only after I finished the last mission, making a course completely pointless. So it is in my opinion this game is a 5 out of 10, or even perhaps a generous 6, but not a 9 out of 10 or 90 out of 100 or whatever the fucking critics are saying. Stop overlooking fundamental flaws because it favours your crazy whack job worldviews, for fuck's sake. Well, I'm Water Percival and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Oh yeah, man, and one last thing, man. Like, your last 5 movies have been just disappointing as shit, so act better. All right, keep your chin up. Peace!